Greetings, everybody. It is the Ash Heritor, and welcome to Warhammer 40,000 Rogue Trader. This is going to be a new playthrough, or we will at least be testing to see if this is a new playthrough, depending on the viewership, which, of course, I am a small channel, so it's not going to take all that much. But, as the title suggested, I was a Black Library author for a couple years. I think I was writing for them for about 6 years. I wrote 8 short stories, 2 of them set within the Warhammer 40,000 setting. Those 2 short stories are The Flesh Tithe and What Wakes in the Dark. What Wakes in the Dark is not available individually, so that's only available within the Inferno Volume 2. But both of those stories are actually related to each other and feature the mysterious and dark region of space known as the Cruel Stars and the various horrors that dwell within it. The rest of my work is all Age of Sigmar, so that's not entirely relevant here, but rest assured I am very immersed within the lore of Warhammer 40,000, and I have actually played and GM'd for the old pen and paper Fantasy Flight Games RPG Rogue Trader. So, I absolutely love this setting. I really like the kind of Coronus Expanse, which will be the area that we will be playing in today. So this is going to be a narrative-focused campaign where we are going to be doing a deep dive into the lore, and I will provide all of the insights that I can with my knowledge of the setting. And I definitely have a lot of knowledge of some of the more obscure things in the setting. I am unfortunately not up to date on all the things that have happened. I haven't really been following Warhammer 40,000 too much since the onset of the Cicatrix Maledictum and the, what is that, is it the Ultima Crusade? Where Guilliman returns. But as far as I understand it, this is going to take place before then, so that's not going to really be that big of an issue. So, this is going to be, obviously, a completely blind playthrough, and, yeah, we're going to roleplay this. So, if you're interested in all of that, do stick around, and drop this video a like, subscribe if you are new here, and once again, if we get, you know, enough viewers or a vocal enough commentary going on in the comments section, then I'm absolutely going to turn this into a full Let's Play. And once again, that doesn't take too many. I'm a pretty small channel, so, you know, I'm not expecting huge numbers here. So, let's get started and do a new game. Yeah, okay, that's all good. Take up the mantle of a rogue trader, the scion of an ancient dynasty of daring privateers that reign over their trade protectorate and explore the fringes of the known galaxy. Darkness looms over the bloodline of von Valancius as it faces multiple threats from within its own ranks and without, as countless enemies seek to destroy the most daring and brave agents of humanity. It is up to you to hold the reins of this shattered protectorate and forge a new path for the von Valancius dynasty, currently finding itself in a vortex of wars, intrigues, calamities, and heresy. The stakes are high and rise even higher as you cross paths with terrifyingly powerful and ambitious adversaries in the darkness of the Coronus Expanse. What's daring? Daring's gonna set everything to 0. But yeah, you know what? Let's just go. Choosing this difficulty is not recommended for players not familiar with the Rogue Trader system. I am fairly familiar with the Rogue Trader system, so we should be fine. I haven't done it in forever, so this may be a terrible idea, but it's gonna be fine, I'm sure. Let's create a custom character, because of course that's what we're going to do. So, create your very own Rogue Trader from scratch. The possibilities are endless when it comes to customizing your character and choosing their homeworld, gender, and background. You can also choose from a wide variety of abilities and skills, such as combat skills, social skills, and technical skills. These abilities and skills determine how your character interacts with the world and what kind of challenges they can overcome. Finally, you can choose your own character's archetypes. Each archetype path offers its own unique set of opportunities and challenges, so choose wisely. Alright, let's proceed onwards. So, what are we going to be playing as here? Okay, play as a female rogue trader? Sure, why not? Very pale. Yeah, she's going to be a Voidborn, for sure. And we'll come up with more of her background and all that type of stuff as we play through the game, because I don't know how much of a background is going to be inserted into the character's story already. So that's something that I kind of wanted to do with my Baldur's Gate playthrough, which I'm running a concurrent Baldur's Gate playthrough and a narrative Age of Wonders playthrough. So if you guys want to check those out, please do so. But I tried to create like a, you know, a character with my own background, but it sort of railroads you into a certain origin, which I then have to ignore all of those things and kind of come up with a narrative reason for why we're not doing that. So yeah, we'll be just kind of waiting a little bit. So for now, she's going to be a rogue trader of a mysterious background, and we'll come up with more for her as time goes on. Long hair? Or do we want to go the Adeptus Sororitas, the bob cut? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I think we'll take this. Eyebrow color, also going to be black. Wonderful. Tattoo. Oh man, lots of options. That's pretty cool. Can you take like multiple? Oh yeah, you absolutely can. You can take a whole lot of tattoos. That's great. So let's actually look here. Symbolism. That's concerning. What's that there? Wait a minute. Hold on here just a second. That is the Holy Octet, or as some might call it, the very, very unholy Octet, the icon of chaos. So skulls is not an evil thing in Warhammer. Like, this is all symbols of the Emperor. I love these tattoos. I'm not liking the whole chaos thing. I mean, I am liking the whole chaos thing, but I don't know if that's where I want to take this character. I know you can. Oh my god, that's just... Can you be more obvious with your, No, I want her to have, like, the double sleeve thing. This... I'm not sure if that's a chaos icon, but these markings, I really don't know what they are. And, they look a bit sketchy, not gonna lie. I like it. Augmentations. Oh, look at this. Whole lot of cyberware. No, I'll tell you what, we're not going to have any augments. Voice, okay.
My tactics are flawless.
Let the macro cannons sing their deadly litany. Time to reap the spoils of the battle.
Yeah,
I always keep my options open.
I like that.
Send their souls to the void. Rend the flesh, shatter the spirit.
Applaud my brilliance. The battle arts!
Okay.
Madness.
No, I'm going to take the pragmatic female
Open
vocals.
fire.
We are going to be a Voidborn. Voidborn are humans birthed in the belly of a void vessel or aboard an ancient orbital satellite. Those who have lived their lives on void ships become inured to some extent due to the reality-altering process of warp travel and to living in low or zero-gravity environments. In many cases, their features are drawn and their skin pallid. They may even have minor deformities or a strangeness to their speech, gait, or general appearance that sets them apart from others. So, there are some characteristic modifiers here. So we'll get +5 willpower, +5 intelligence, but -5 strength. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We have some talents here. Bloody Mess. Anytime a Voidborn character scores a critical hit, there's a 10% chance to double the damage. Okay. Contagious Luck. Using a non-damaging ability on an ally grants that ally the ability to reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry, characteristic, or skill test with a 20% chance of success for 1 round. This chance cannot be greater than the base success chance of the roll. Using a non-damaging ability on an enemy grants them a 20% chance to fail a successful test. Okay. For 1 round. That's really cool. So, yeah, Voidborn have this kind of, you know, omen about them that, yeah, tends to do stuff like this. You know, it can assist your allies, it can hinder your enemies. I'm not sure why the Bloody Mess is associated with Voidborn, but, not sure. Just a flesh wound. The Voidborn character has a 20% chance to survive after suffering lethal damage, surviving with 1 wound, perhaps representing their slightly altered physiology. And then Jinx. While a Voidborn character has more than 50% wounds, all chances of all creatures, including enemies, in a 3-cell radius are increased by 10%. Oh shit. While a Voidborn character has less than 50% wounds, all chances of all creatures, including enemies, in a 3-cell radius are decreased by 10%. Interesting. So if you're at high health, everyone has a higher chance of succeeding on whatever it is they're trying to do. Whereas if you're at low health, everybody has less chance of succeeding in what they're trying to do. That's very cool. We'll check that in just a sec. And then be smart. Anytime an ability or talent uses the fellowship bonus, a Voidborn character can use the intelligence bonus if it is higher. Very cool. So fellowship is basically your charisma, intelligence is your intelligence. For those of you familiar with tabletop role-playing game stats. Additionally, Voidborn characters can always upgrade their intelligence even if their archetype does not allow it. Awesome. So we can get real smart. Fortune here. A Voidborn character can reroll any failed attack, dodge, parry, characteristic, or skill test with a 20% chance of success. This chance cannot be greater than the base success chance of the roll. Additionally, any enemy dodge, parry, or dodge or parry against a Voidborn character has a 20% chance to fail after a successful roll. Okay, so that's basically the contagious luck, but applied purely to ourselves. So that's awesome. That's what we're gonna play. I love the Voidborn. They're super weird. Origin. So, we get to pick what we're going to be. I think I'm going to actually be playing as a sanctioned Psyker. I'm going to be a psychic rogue trader. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Or potentially a crime lord. We could also be a crime lord. That could be fun. Not going to be a commissar, not an Astra Militarum commander. A navy officer is possible. Oh, we get a thick hat if we do that. But that removes our cool hair. Noble? What am I wearing? Oh man, definitely not going to be a priest. We're going to be maybe a little bit of heretical business going on here. So the high nobility of the Imperium are an enormously privileged and powerful elite, a breed apart from the common masses they rule. You grew up into adulthood upon a pedestal of affluence and grandeur that towered high above the common masses. You expect their obedience and lived upon the fruits of their toil, surrendered to your family in solemn fealty. So that would give us more intelligence. It would give us fellowship. Fellowship, yeah, we can use. No, I'm taking the sanctioned Psyker. Screw it. We're doing a Psyker. Psykers are feared and distrusted, but are nonetheless valuable assets to the Imperium. The role of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica is to recruit, identify, and classify those found to possess psychic abilities. The most powerful, who somehow survive the rigorous sanctioning rituals, are selected to serve on the battlefield. The mind of a sanctioned Psyker is steeled against the manifold dangers risked by wielders of warp powers. You are one of those who were found worthy to serve humanity and have miraculously survived the perils of the warp. Note, damaging psychic powers count as weapon attacks, counting towards the normal attack limit per round and gaining all of the benefits of abilities and talents, increasing the damage of attacks. For example, a soldier using the run and gun ability will be able to use damaging Psyker abilities twice per turn, and an operative's analyze enemies abilities affects the damage of damaging Psyker abilities. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think I want to be a Psyker. So this will give us +5 toughness. So that's one of our attributes. We'll be a bit tougher, and we'll get more willpower. So we now have a +10 to willpower. Our skill modifiers, we will get +5 to our lore warp skill. So we know about the warp. After all, we perpetually skim the warp as Psykers. Technically, all sentient, well, almost all sentient human beings are connected to the warp. They have a warp signature. Psykers are bright beacons in the warp. This attracts all kinds of unwanted attention from the warp, and the warp is not a nice place. It may have once been a nice place, but humanity, and specifically the actions of certain Xenos species that I'm sure we'll be interacting with, have made the warp a very not nice place. The warp, by the way, in case you guys aren't familiar with Warhammer 40k, is this alternate dimension that exists everywhere all at once. And it is a realm of pure emotion, and, well, because of the grim, horrible state of the galaxy, that emotion is very much tied to fear, rage, all kinds of negative stuff. It's bad. And there are 4 entities that dwell in the warp. There's a whole lot more than 4, but 4 major entities that dwell in the warp. These are called the Chaos Gods. And they're very powerful. They're constantly whispering through the warp and trying to make their presence known within corporeal reality. Now, ships traversing the Imperium, which is basically set across the entirety of the Milky Way galaxy, centered around Terra, aka Earth. The ships traversing the Imperium need to actually move through the warp. There is no such thing as conventional faster-than-light travel. You instead have to phase through the warp, where time and space are pretty meaningless, and you rely on these people called navigators, which can basically understand the warp. They can look into the warp without losing their shit. And yeah, that's how you traverse through the warp. So space travel is a dangerous affair. So we'll also get the Carouse skill. This represents the ability to resist the negative effects applied by some poisons, stimulators, or alcohol. May give access to new dialogue options. Okay, interesting. More characteristic modifiers. More willpower. Wait, we get even more willpower from being a Psyker? Alright, we have also like the sanctioned Psyker thing, which we have a 20% less chance to trigger psychic phenomenon, which is basically what happens when you cast psychic powers and something goes a little bit wrong. It can trigger this wide array of events to occur. This can be anything from like poltergeists, moving shit around, to suddenly everything going really, really cold, to suddenly you're levitating in the air and on fire, to, oh yeah, you know, those 3 guys right over there, they're now possessed by demons. So it can be really bad. Psychic phenomenon can be terrible. The worst form of psychic phenomenon is the Perils of the Warp, aforementioned right here. So this is good. If we can avoid psychic phenomenon, that's also a chance to avoid Perils of the Warp, so that's great. Alright, we have some abilities here. These are the different psychic, or the types of psychic powers, the psychic disciplines that we can get, and there's a bunch of different talents. I don't think we actually have access to them. We need to buy these talents, because we can increase our psi rating, and then we can get all these different psychic schools. Generally, you go into one psychic school, but there's nothing really stopping you from mixing and mashing from the different psychic schools, but we're going to see what we do. I think I'm probably going to go telepathy and divination, just because I like those. Will be a support Psyker type character. Alright, so, this is where we choose right now. So, yeah, diviners seek to discern the hidden past of the galaxy and know the course of events yet to come. These abilities allow diviners to look into the twisting strands of the immaterium in search of the answers they seek, and sometimes even influence the outcome of fate itself. So, we would gain access to, divination specializes in gleaning information and using it to turn fortune in your favor. Diviners find useful insights everywhere, manifesting extrasensory abilities and glimpsing the future. And we can get forewarning. The Psyker increases the target's dodge and parry by 3 plus the Psyker's perception bonus, plus 3 times the Psyker's psi rating. So it's a bit of math right there, but I reckon once we know our stats, that's going to be easier to figure out. And that'll last until the end of combat. So this is one of our basic psychic powers. And then there's other psychic powers that we'll be able to get down here, and more talents that we'll be able to pick up. Yeah, so these are available after Origin Advancement, so you don't have these now. So it looks like you are linked to just one. We'll see if you can actually expand beyond that. In lore, you can. But it's difficult, so maybe you're limited to one type of psychic capability. The other option would be Telepath, Psychic Shriek. Yeah, telepaths use their psychic power in conjunction with their own minds to delude, control, and destroy the minds of their enemies. You can do, like, domination, psychic assault. I think I'm going to go with divination. It looked really cool, and I kind of want to have the idea of playing, like, a lore-based, you know, a leader-type character, and this seems like it would be good for a leader-type character. So this is our triumph. So this is one of the cool things that the old Rogue Trader game system did, is when you made your character, it's not just you pick your class. You pick, like, a bunch of events that transpire in your character's backstory, and they all give you little bonuses. So some of you may know already, I'm making a pen and paper RPG, and I have a similar, it's even more, like, in-depth than this. I basically took the idea from the Rogue Trader and Dark Heresy games and made it go even more into, like, building your character up from the start. So, like, building a character is a very involved process in that. But I like that they've added that in here, or they've at least added some of it. So, this is our triumph, basically an event that happened that we had some sort of crowning glory. So I'm going to read through all of them. Upon Apex of Brilliance, upon solving the mystery of a powerful, psychically active Xeno artifact, you managed to destroy the creation of countless enemies of humanity. This will give us +5 to our Xeno lore. And I reckon these are going to show up in, like, dialogue options. Illustrious Glory, you single-handedly saved a pilgrim ship by stopping a warp breach while traveling through the Immaterium. This will give us +5 Persuasion. I kind of like that, too. and feat of greatness. The power of your sorcery crushed a demon of the arch enemy and drove it back into the warp, giving us a bit of coercion. Oh man, these are all cool, and they all seem connected to being a Psyker, so I reckon these are all going to be different depending on what class you are, which is awesome. Very Owlcat Games. This is the company that did the Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous, and Kingmaker and all that, so expect a lot of depth, because that's what they do. Coercion is basically Intimidate. I think I'm going to take Feat of Greatness. No, except my psychic power doesn't really do that, so Illustrious Glory I think is going to make more sense, because if I can... Yeah, we can single-handedly save a pilgrim ship by stopping a warp breach. Perhaps we anticipated the warp breach and were able to stop it before it even happened with our precognitive divination abilities. So, Darkest Hour. This is basically the terrible event that happened in your past, and it's going to have some sort of negative consequence on you. Grim Portents. You are accused of being possessed by a warp entity and forced into exile, leaving your soul forever scarred. -5 to logic. Okay, so your ability to make rational decisions, rational arguments more convincing. Okay, so this is also like a social skill. You can use logic to, like, kind of as persuasion. Interesting. Brand of Shame. Your sorcery caused a warp manifestation aboard a void ship, claiming thousands of lives in the end. -5 awareness. Ooh. And then Shadow of Torment. An error during the sanctioning process brought you many hours of agony, which nearly cost you your life. So this error in the sanctioning process, we would lose some of our warp knowledge. I don't want that. I think I'm going to take Brand of Shame. View my character as being very insular and focused on what she's doing, so she might not notice what's going on around her, and, you know, will be tormented by this past. I like it. Archetypes here. Okay, so this is separate from our origin. Interesting. And then you get to pick more as you go. Oh, wow. So we have warrior, officer, operative, or soldier, and these all connect into different things. I think I'm gonna go with probably officer. Although, no, as a Psyker, I think an operative would make more sense. An operative uses intelligence and perception. We want perception anyways, and intelligence, to find and exploit weaknesses in an enemy's defenses. That seems really good to be connected with the divination type of psychic stuff. None can withstand an attack from an operative. Core focus, precise single attacks, defense penetration, area debuffs, consistent firing position. Okay, I mean, that then seems more combat focused. So we can analyze enemies. But yeah, I don't really do like a combat, so maybe I do need to have officer. Officers use their willpower and fellowship to improve the combat capabilities of their allies, turning them into even greater threats on the battlefield. So core focus, extra turns, single target buffs, rescuing allies, and momentum. So momentum is a feature, as far as I understand it, from what I know of reading into this game a little bit, just mechanically. I haven't read into the story at all. That momentum basically allows you to get extra actions if you kill enemies. So that could be cool. Voice of command and bring it down. Yeah, I'm still... Like, I don't know if there's more that comes from this afterwards. I like the area debuffs, but this attack stuff, I don't necessarily view my character as being a proper fighter. I wish there were a couple more options here. But this gives me the ones that I would want, which I think I would want to go with either Master Tactician or Grand Strategist. Wait, what the hell is the difference here? We'll look at that when we get to it. So I think I'm going to take an Officer. And now we get to alter our stats. So we have 30 available stat points. Our willpower and intelligence is already pretty high. We want to increase our... perception, so that we can use our forewarning. So I think I'm going to... they just go up by 5s. So we can pump this up to 40, I think. That would be good. It costs us 10 of our points. And then I think I want to up our intelligence to 40 as well. This is going to affect our different skills that are under intelligence. So these are all... Oh, no. This... Let's see. Okay. Intelligence is affecting all of our lore skills, which is important. Willpower is going to affect our psychic abilities. Willpower reflects the character's ability to withstand the horrors of the warp, the terrors of space, and the dreadful opponents they are bound to encounter in the Coronus Expanse. High willpower allows the characters to exert control over a crowd or interrogate a heretic. It also increases the chances of resisting negative mental effects and psychic powers. And yeah, I think I'm gonna actually take a bit more willpower, and then lastly I'll take 5 in Fellowship. So we have a bit of a smattering of stuff here. Can we reduce? We can. So I think I'm just gonna, we can't reduce it below what we have. We could reduce, no, we can't do that either. Interesting. Okay, so we're pretty useless in direct combat. We're gonna be behind the main line, controlling things from afar, which is, I think gonna be pretty cool. And now we get to pick our void ship. Okay, we have a sword class frigate. That's that's our only option. All right. So sword class frigates are kind of the workhorse. It says here, the sword class frigate is a classic combat ship design proven in thousands of battles, combining decent firepower, high speed, and respectable survivability. It's 1.6 kilometers in length, and by the way, this is a small ship. 1.6 kilometers in length with a crew of about 26,000. So bear in mind, this is a small ship. It's basically a city. You can see it's got a fucking cathedral on the top of it. And if you're familiar with Warhammer 40k, this will be no surprise to you, because like every single ship is covered in cathedrals, because, you know, that's how the Emperor wills it. So the Von Valancius flagship is the mightiest void ship belonging to the Von Valancius dynasty. So we're then a very small dynasty. Every system aboard this frigate has been tried and tested in innumerable engagements. Its weapons and turrets deliver hard-hitting volleys with pinpoint accuracy. Its plasma drives are rugged yet reliable in extreme conditions. The flagship's size and maneuverability are perfect for pursuing smaller, faster raiders and for hunting the countless pirates, xenos, and heretics in the Coronus Expanse. Numerous Von Valancius rogue traders have acknowledged the exceptional performance of this vessel, and, with few minor updates, the flagship has continued to faithfully serve the Von Valancius dynasty. I wonder if we're going to be able to get, like, a fleet. You can carry maximum 6 megatons. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. It's a little one. So this would give it a couple of names here. I already have a name for the ship here, which will be called the Lucis Erinyes, or the Furious Light. Do we want to call it that? I don't know. That's a name that was the name of the rogue trader ship in the campaign I GM'd. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, we need a name. Well, we are one of the Von Valancius, so we're gonna have to, take a name based around that. Oh yeah, we're gonna go full heresy here. Cyrene von Valancius. If you know where I get the name Cyrene from, maybe you'll be able to piece together which of the 20 original Space Marine legions is my favorite. So, yeah, do we change this appearance here? Because I don't know how to do this right now. Outfit settings, I can't. Oh yeah, we can actually adjust our color scheme here. That's cool. Do we want to be black? Do we want to be red? So, after substantial tampering, I've chosen the portrait of Beta Bequin from the, well, Pariah trilogy, which is a great read, though you do kind of have to read the Eisenhorn and Ravener trilogies first, along with a couple of other little short stories in between, but worth the time, let me tell you. Dan Abnett is an amazing author. But so yeah, that's what we're going for here. We'll have her appearance be similar to that. It's, I'm sure it's just a coincidence. So, this is ultimately the character that we are going for. I've changed up the appearance ever so slightly. So you can, of course, plug in your own portraits, which I did, because none of the portraits even looked close to what I had in mind, and that's a bit of a gripe I have with the Owlcat games, and in fact, that's more of just a gripe I have with some of the older CRPGs out there, is that the portraits rarely ever look like what you actually try and make your character look like, which leads to some weird inconsistencies, or you end up having to alter your character's appearance to look like one of the portraits, or you gotta find a portrait online, which is always problematic. I just wish they did what Baldur's Gate 3 did, and just have the appearance look like the character that you make. You know? Sure, you get the cool, like, art, which, you know, for these portraits, the art is great, to be sure, but, never quite looks right, at least in my opinion. Anyways, let's continue. So, is this aboard our ship already? I'm thinking, no way in hell this is aboard a ship. This is like monolithic. Yeah, well, welcome to Warhammer 40,000. No, I don't think this is aboard a ship, though. Servo skulls floating around. All of the glorious iconography. There I am.
An excellent place for contemplation.
All right.
One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
All right, so we have dialogue choices, of course. So, Kundrag Voikvir, Jesus, just you know, commenting on the glory of the Emperor's view. Shall I be frankly, such access can be tiring at times, or all this ostentatious luxury, this laughable pretense, it is enough to make one think that the architects meant to compensate rather than glorify. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. It's a bit, subversive.
An interesting perspective. However, allow me to offer you a bit of advice. In the interests of your own well-being, you should frame your thoughts with greater piety. Demonstrating such a lack of care when choosing your words might be viewed by certain people as evidence of insufficient trepidation before the God Emperor, the master of humanity.
Yeah, of course. Certainly not talentless architects. Architects have talents. I prefer to serve by acting, not speaking, perhaps. Are we gonna be kind of snarky? You seem to attach much importance to words. Well, I have a fondness for names. I have yet to hear yours. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
My apologies. The statements you made were so intriguing that I forgot myself.
He seems to be on board with us, either way.
Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voitvir, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valancius. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
Okay, so yeah, we can, of course, hover over here. A rogue trader is a subject of the Imperium with a unique hereditary title. A rogue trader is tasked with exploring and exploiting the still uncharted regions of the galaxy for the benefit of mankind. That is what we are, or what we will be. I'm not sure if we're a rogue trader just yet. I think we'll be upfront. My name is Cyrene von Valancius. And so as to avoid any misunderstanding, I am a sanctioned Psyker.
I am aware of that fact. It would have been unacceptable negligence to have overlooked such a detail when compiling your profile. Fate bestowed upon you powers of witchcraft, and a duty to use them for the good of the Imperium. Yours is truly an unenviable lot.
Yeah, this is one of the rare settings where, like, you know, in so many settings, you get characters that have magic and you're like, oh, it's such a burden. And it's really not. But in Warhammer 40,000, you don't want magic. Trust me. You just don't. So the Imperium is a galaxy-spanning interstellar empire ruled by the living god, who is known as the Emperor of Mankind. Spoiler alert, he's not actually alive, he's dead. It's just an ancient piece of artifice that technically keeps his soul alive, in quotes, maybe, probably, I don't know. All the skull iconography is because of his current physical state, by the way. So all of that's, you know, the imagery of death is present throughout the Imperium because the God Emperor is sort of dead. It's only by the sacrifice of 1,000 Psykers per day that he is kept active. And by active, I mean he is powering a light called the Astronomicon. I'm sure we'll discover more about the Astronomicon later. The Astronomicon is a gigantic beacon in the warp, and it is the sole reason why navigators are able to navigate the warp. I mean, you can navigate without the Astronomicon, but it is rough. So, the Emperor is literally keeping the Imperium intact, because without the Astronomicon, commerce, logistics, everything just fails. And because of the nature of the Imperium, where worlds are hyper-specialized, so you have worlds, entire worlds that are devoted solely to agriculture, entire worlds that are devoted solely to the creation of certain types of commodities or weapons or whatever, these forge worlds, that if suddenly travel between worlds stops working, so many worlds are going to just die. Like hive worlds with their trillions of populations, but no actual agriculture themselves. Like they have food reprocessing, which is sketchy in and of itself. But they entirely rely on agri-worlds to sustain themselves. So if suddenly the Astronomicon goes out, ships aren't able to transport this stuff anymore, there's a big problem.
I will be frank with you. You may forget your past titles, no matter who gave them to you, or what their origins are. From the moment you and the other candidate were brought aboard this void ship, your fate changed. You now serve Lord Captain Theodora von Valancius, and carry the burden of an heir of this house. Henceforth, you share your dynastic name with her ladyship. Bear it with honor.
I think our character is actually of the dynasty itself, maybe a distant cousin whose, you know, capabilities and, you know, affinity with the void itself may have attracted this Theodora von Valancius' attention. You know, I'm sure she's got plenty of other family members. Lord Captain, strange title for the Lady Theodora. Oh, so we are already on a ship. So yeah, I told you this is this is a fucking starship. Okay, he's a master of whispers. He's basically the spy master, the one who gets shit done in the shadows, delivers messages, all that type of stuff. We don't need to ask that. So you say I am one of the rogue traders' heirs, so there is another candidate?
There is. And you will meet him soon enough.
Alright. Tell me about the one whose ship I have found myself. Tell me about the one on whose ship I have found myself.
I would rather not discuss the Lord Captain behind her back. Especially not on board her ship. No one knows better than I that whispers are wont to attract particularly close attention. Suffice it to say that her ladyship is the bearer of the sacred warrant of trade, and a woman of immense power and entitlement. However privileged your position may be, I ask that you do not incur her anger by being disrespectful or obtuse. Lady Theodora despises both qualities.
Alright. So the Warrant of Trade is a sacred relic document that affirms the preeminent rights of a rogue trader throughout the galaxy. It is rumored that each Warrant of Trade is actually stamped with a microscopic amount of the Emperor's own blood. So there aren't many of these Warrants of Trade. You might be thinking, oh, how the hell does the Imperium do its trading if there's only so few of these and they're such a big deal? No, because you also have Chartist traders. These do not have the Warrant of Trade, but they're the ones that do kind of the bulk trading between the stuff. Rogue traders have an entirely different purpose, which I'm sure will get explained. I mean, the original explanation kind of gives it. They're more explorers than traders. They do trading too, but they can do all kinds of stuff. All right. It's obvious why I've been brought here. Lord Captain, a strange title for Lady Theodora.
Such are the traditions of the Imperium. Lord Captain is the title that was established in the annals of the Lex Imperialis, at the time when the first rogue traders entered the God Emperor's service. And therefore, it is sacrosanct.
I thought it might create might indicate that it's an odd title for her station, but it's actually a very normal title for her station, so I didn't really need to ask that. Right, I assume you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far.
Zoom in and out. Okay.
The Lord's Captain and Master Cyrene von Valancius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
My rival? By right of blood, rogue trader Theodora von Valancius desires to personally meet with the person recently brought aboard her. Never mind. Well, we can follow Kunrad. Okay. Yeah, all this stuff.
I always have a backup plan.
Do you? That's good. It does weird, like, lensing here. Yeah, some objects can be interacted with in a specific way. They are marked with specific icons. Okay. Yeah. Tab will highlight the objects we can interact with. Interesting. So we could interact with a massive conference table, obviously crafted from real wood, a resource of incredible value aboard a void ship. Indeed.
Let us not dawdle.
So these are tech priests, these red-robed individuals. The sacred mechanism has been interfered without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. So the tech priests hail from Mars. Well, at least the original part of their order hails from Mars. They're the ones that safeguard the machines and work the more complex machines of the Imperium. They're very integral to the Imperium. However, they are of a slightly different religion. They do not revere the Emperor as the God Emperor in the same way that the ecclesiarchy, or the Church of the God Emperor, does throughout the rest of the Imperium, which is normally a big no-no, but an exception is granted to the Adeptus Mechanicus because of the integral function they serve. However, they believe that all machines have spirits, and they treat machines with certain reverence, far more than they treat, you know, organic beings. Incomprehensible information is displayed on the large screen above the cogitators. You can make out references to unfamiliar systems and worlds, but the numbers and logisticar symbols, among the numbers and logisticar symbols. So cogitators are computers in this setting. The sacred mechanism, no, we already...
Is there money to be made?
Lay people interfering in the operation of the sacred mechanisms disturbs the machine spirits. I wish this would stick around a little longer. In the name of the Omnissiah, refrain from any further profane acts. Yeah, so I shouldn't be poking this type of stuff.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Noble guests, huh? How long do we have to wait for an audience? How many days has it been already? Okay. Seems like they're a little upset. Common worker, we'll talk to them. The crew member is hard at work, bowing his head in fear and avoiding even looking at you. Yeah, should be afraid. Another noble guest up here. What do we have up here? A candlelit altar with copy of the 2,348th volume of the Lex Imperialis, the Codex of Sacred Laws
Keep
of
your
the
wits
Imperium.
about you.
Interesting. Well, he's up here now. Let's not keep him waiting any longer. Ah, a servitor. As you approach, something in the servitor's body begins to hum as if in response to your presence. After a couple of seconds, the noise subsides. So servitors are basically mind-wiped human corpses that have been repurposed with machines because it's illegal to make AIs, aka abominable intelligences, so they have to use organic components to power, or to basically help cogitate their machines. It's pretty wild.
I always keep my options open.
Alright, so we talk to him. We go through the door, huh? Alright.
One of the von Valancius trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
Yeah, perhaps. Sure. There'll be lots of juicy lore tidbits here, I'm sure.
What's happening?
Okay. Servitors are,
The servitors have gone berserk!
That's not good. Probably shouldn't have stood there. Okay. That's not good.
Your demise is already calculated.
Okay. Let's start the battle. You've been ambushed. The battle begins. Okay, so I'm guessing this is completely turn-based. Crew officer is going to be shooting. Okay, so we don't have any control here. These are just random mobs, I guess. That's going to attack there. Okay, that crew officer is dead. That crew officer is also dead. Okay, what's he doing? He's doing a joint analysis. Okay, movement in combat. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on a grid. On their turn, a character can move, attack, or use their abilities. Select a cell within the highlighted area and double-click a left mouse button to move onto it. Okay. Movement points determine how far a character can move. Where do we have that? I think down here, probably. 1 MP, yeah, corresponds to 1 cell. Moving diagonally is more costly, costing 2 MP. Okay. Alright, so these are our movement points. Sticks, precisely. And then I've got my abilities here. Forewarning would cost 1 AP, so these are my APs. But what's the range on this? It's got a 10-cell radius. 1 friendly creature within a 10-cell radius. So I could drop a forewarning on one of these crew officers here to give them a bit of a bonus. Or my other power is Voice of Command. So, yeah, forewarning is our psychic ability, which increases the target's dodge and parry by 7% until the end of combat. So we're gonna do that on this crew officer. I'm gonna buff them up. I can only use this once per turn. Alright, good to know. Then Voice of Command. No, I'm gonna use other actions here. Got a cooldown of 1 round. The officer forces an ally to fully push themselves, increasing their characteristics by 11 for 1 round. Additionally, all of the officer's abilities can be applied to the target of Voice of Command from any distance. A character who becomes the target of Voice of Command cannot be targeted by this ability for the next 2 rounds. Okay, so we'll drop that on this crew as well. Buff them up. And then I can move up to here with 3 MP, I think. And I have an auto pistol, I'm assuming. So action points. It's going to cost 1 action point to shoot. Ooh, oh, hold on. Let's actually read this. To make attacks and use abilities in combat, a character must spend action points, or AP. Their total is displayed on the panel at the bottom of the screen. Every attack or ability has a certain AP cost associated with it. The number of squares next to the icon of the attack actions and other abilities indicate their AP cost. Okay, so that's 1 AP cost to shoot here. Yeah, AP is restored. To attack, left-click the, or first click the left mouse bunker on the single shot icon. Bottom of the screen, hover over an enemy, click them. Okay, yeah. This depends on the parameters of the weapon they're using. Okay, I think this is clear enough. So we can shoot this servitor here. Bang, bang. All right, good stuff. Still have an AP left, but not much more to be done here. Could do a reload, but I got 5 out of 6 rounds still, so we'll save here. I missed, apparently. Did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, I think I did. So this ends our turn. I got nothing else to do, so basically our officer here is juiced, but apparently it didn't matter at all. So that's great. No one can hit a bloody servitor. I have a bad feeling about this. Oh my god, one-shotting everyone. I mean, it is using like a big old chain fist. Analyze enemies. Joint analysis. So it's getting all kinds of debuffs here. I'm gonna move away from it. Maybe I can shoot it first.
On it.
Oh my god. Not ideal. I can't move after I shoot. Oh shit. We're gonna Voice of Command.
My gut tells me
I can't do
it's
that
a bad
either.
idea.
So attacking ends the turn.
Who?
No, I can still use
Not
this.
me.
Oh, yeah, I can't use that on her because I used it on her last turn. So, can't do that. Can't do that.
I won't
All right,
compromise my principles.
This is unfortunate. Hopefully we don't die. Come on, get him. There you go. 8 damage. Oh my god, it is tough. Okay, it's not going for me. Please don't die. I buffed you. Oh. Come on, stop using just basic analysis. Can we actually kill it? Dude, what if I lose on the first session here? Or can I?
I don't need luck. I have strategy.
Okay, no, this is just lore. I was thinking maybe. Can't hit the Voice of Command on him.
I'll make it happen.
do that, so he'll have forewarning. And then I guess we're gonna shoot this thing. What is our chance to hit, actually? Does it say? 75%.
I'll see to it personally.
There we go, finally. Alright. Look at that, not sucking. Could reload. No, I got no AP left. Alright. So it's going for him. Hopefully he doesn't also get one-shotted. He dodged. Good job. You take him out. All he's doing is the same thing here. Oh no. Okay. Never mind. I spoke too soon. That was pretty good.
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If this is a deliberate attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan.
It's almost certainly a deliberate sabotage here. What do we have here? Destroy the out-of-control servitor. Okay, we did that. Now we just need to talk to Theodora. Spread out. No one is allowed to enter the
I must
premises.
remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Alright. We could, of course, look around and do all of that type of stuff, but I think it's probably in our best
I
interest
always have a backup plan.
to just move along. So yeah, there's, you know, some interesting stuff in the trophy room. Doesn't look like we can do any looting. Yeah, I'd like to know what these are, because I know what those are over there, but
Is there money to be made?
right, the deck enforcers are here. I guess we need to go in here if we can. At the end of the room, maybe up here.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Lots of dead people. Okay, so it seems like everything here is fine. Like no one's dying as of yet.
Keep your wits about you.
No servitors about. So yeah, indeed, this is the inside of a ship, which is, you know, that should tell you the scale of everything in this game. All right, Mort and Edelthrad. These are two. We've heard of Edelthrad. Is that the rogue trader? Yeah. That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora, says the man dressed in peculiar garb, his voice tight with tension. His face, half of which is covered by a sin skin, is twisted in a grimace of displeasure and disbelief. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide, practically an admission of heresy. Theodora, the tall, gray-haired woman, pins him with her gaze, her cybernetic eye flashing crimson. Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation, no worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad? I will, survey the room. Your first impression of Edelthrad, who appears to be about 30 years old, is of parchment-like skin stretched over a tightly bundled mass of sinew, implants, and bone. The nervously twitching fingers, the face twisted by a slight tic, and the jerky movements are all sign of some illness or defect that has taken over his physical form. Well, rough to be him. In stark contrast to Edelthrad, Theodora von Valancius' features appear as if they were carved from marble, eternal and indestructible. Head raised high, proud posture, hands clasped casually behind her back. Everything seems to emphasize the difference in status between her and Edelthrad. You know, got to assert dominance. Behind the two of them, you see two more men. One is a gray-haired officer of impeccable bearing who is studying the contents of his data slate. The other is a behemoth, bristling with holsters and baldricks containing all manner of weapons. That one, I guess. So Theodora says, "Our second candidate has joined us." The dry female voice and the powerful feeling of being watched force you to look at Theodora. The rogue trader is looking straight at you, and her gaze, like herself, is predatory and oppressive. Cyrene von Valancius, approach and give me your answer. Okay. Consider this hypothetical question. Ion 6, a new world on the fringes of the Coronus expects. High seismic activity,
regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say. But attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure?
So, our option is Lore Xenos. Succeeded, so we've already made the tests, which give us dialogue options. That's cool.
Those spirits could well be the natives' name for dangerous aliens. I would first verify if that is indeed the case, and if the population of Ion 6 engages in xeno-worship, or Lore Warp. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Ion 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost several Psykers to do, but it will give us the answer.
Or we could do, I believe I could use my personal abilities to ascertain whether there was sorcery on Ion 6, but it would require me going down to the surface in person. These reports of spirits certainly sound like evidence of heresy. However, I would put my interests first. No matter what means I would have to use, the riches of Ion 6 would be mine. Or Ion 6 must be purged for the good of the Imperium. I shall exterminate the heretical beliefs and otherworldly powers that rule the native apostates. Or, I don't know. I think I'm going to do the Lore Warp. There are ways to confirm whether what is happening on Ion 6 is witchcraft or not. It might cost several Psykers to do so, but it will give us the answer. You know, I'm a Psyker. I'm willing to sacrifice my fellow Psykers. That's fine. Theodora smirks.
Thorough but presumptuous. It took me a great deal to find one Psyker who could serve me well for many years, yet you speak of several.
Edelthrad looks at you with the warmth of a snake.
Sanctioned Psykers are rare and valuable instruments of the Golden Throne. Or do you, Cyrene von Valancius, suggest that we use heretics, who are an offense to the God Emperor's light? It would be rather careless of you to utter such profanity in the presence of his faithful servants.
Do we spark some conflict with Edeltron? I gave a straight answer to a simple question, which, as I understand, was still more than you could do, Edelthrad. The color drains from Edelthrad's face, which distorts his features further.
Insolent, ignorant upstart, how dare you!
Edelthrad. Theodora's tone renders him silent.
I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me, then, why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officers' decks, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview. I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
Edelthrad bows ceremoniously and takes his leave without sparing you another look. So he's a sycophant. Alright, hopefully we gain some of her respect by telling off her subordinates. Theodora's gaze follows him as he leaves. She turns to you.
So, Cyrene von Valancius, why are you here?
Was it not you who sent for me? Theodora scoffs.
You have ceded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lick-spittlery, compulsion to please. I value none of these things. From the moment my envoys came to you, the terms of your existence changed.
Okay, alright.
My name is Theodora von Valancius, Massimo of Scarus. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity, and my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic, the warrant of trade kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness beyond the Imperium and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you, Cyrene von Valancius, are one of those with the von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. I'm ready to take on this sacred purpose. Oh yes, you would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader. Game over then. Blood rights alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming a bearer of the warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents might prove useful, if not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Theodora sighs and looks away pensively for a brief moment. Alas, those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Conrad Voidveer served me for many years before he made his mistake. Did I hear you correctly? The Master of Whispers is related to you. His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. Oh, shit. That door, however, is closed to him. Oh, okay, never mind. Voidveer's performance in his current role is satisfactory, or it used to be, at least. Okay. Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now? The vox affixed to Theodora's attire suddenly comes to life. But all you can hear is unintelligible noise. Theodora winces, shuts off the transmission, and gives you an imperious nod. I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. We're not going to ask these questions. An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew. We're not going to fawn, or... no, we're going to be straight to the point. Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all. Theodora laughs nonchalantly. The gray-haired officer gives the rogue trader a look of cautious disapproval. So this is Abelard. Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff. So he's able to speak to her that way. Maybe she just lets people speak to her that way, because it's, you know, she seems to be like everybody needs to assert their place. But this guy clearly has some influence. Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. She turns to you. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live. Okay. Where is your ship headed? The Reichhardt system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers and rivals. Only 3 rogue traders exist in the Corylus expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Reichhardt on demand. Theodora grimaces. She gives you a stern look, then shrugs. For a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose of this voyage, but now is not the time. What are my current responsibilities? Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel, and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. I have no more questions. In that case, I shall head to... Theodora's vox awakens once more. This time you can pick up shouting. The Lord Captain freezes, listening to the vox cast, then nods and draws her weapons. Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. She glances at you. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
You guys don't look like wholesome chats. Cultists or rogue deck crew? Why not both? Alright.
Challenges make the spoils that much sweeter!
Alright, looks like we got some baddies here. What are they, actually? Yeah, we know what the initiative does. Let's start the battle. Nothing I can do before the battle, but this kind of suggests maybe we can do things before battle, which would be pretty cool. Alright, Theodora's going over there. Abelard is going to run up here and take out one of the heretics. Okay. And he's going to take out that one. Okay, we have quite a lot of stuttering here. I don't think this game is particularly well optimized, unfortunately. Okay, missed. Very close range. Heretic Cutthroat, you going to shoot at me? Oh yeah, you missed. Cover. Okay, so we can use cover to avoid enemy attacks, indeed. So this is a very XCOM-like situation. I think this is going to be a good cover. We'll follow the Rogue Trader. And I think I'm going to drop a forewarning on her. Very good. I could drop a voice of command on the Rogue Trader? No, I can't. Okay. What about on him? I can't use it for some reason.
tells me
Unavailable.
it's a bad idea.
Why not? One friendly creature within a 10-cell radius. I'm not sure. Do they have to be of lower rank than me? That might be the case, because all of these ones I think are of higher rank than me, so that might be what's going on here. So it doesn't seem like I can use this on anyone. Well, then we're just going to have to shoot people. If we could shoot one of these heretics here, we have an 86% chance to blast this one. It's Cutthroat.
Your end was inevitable.
Daka, wow, we just shot him in half with the pistol. That's pretty badass. That was a critical hit. 150% chance of normal damage. Crits do. Good stuff. Okay, we'll end our turn. We're sitting in cover now, so Heretic Cutthroat's gonna come around, take a pot shot at Theodora here, but, you know, ouch. Okay, he just got hit, but did almost nothing to him. That missed. You guys aren't very good. Okay, you're coming into close combat. Did a little bit of damage to Abelard as well. And the Heretic Brawler. No, he's getting swamped here.
Just a minor setback.
Yeah. Okay, one shooting at Mort. Missed. Theodora, what are you gonna do? Oh, she's got a plasma pistol! Oh, they just disintegrated. Gone. Alright. And he's just chewing him up. He's got a melt-a-gun? Yeah, that's an anti-tank weapon. Plasma pistols can take down fucking space marines, so... Yeah, oh man, that's brutal. The character has received a temporary positive effect from an ally. Okay, what did we receive? Where can we see that? Is that here? Kill them. Source, Theodora. Gain 50 ballistic skill until the end of turn. Okay, so we can do even more business. So let's drop another forewarning. No, let's actually... Yeah, we'll drop a forewarning on her again.
On it.
And then, I guess, since we have, like... we only have a 34% chance to hit there. That's a 90%. Let's pick this guy
not
off.
Me?
90%! What is this? XCOM? Oh, man. Well, we missed. I'm gonna hold here. Stay in cover. I'm definitely the weakest link in this group.
I've suffered worse.
Right, she... that guy's dead. Not much left.
Reduce the dust.
And you're gonna die. 27 damage. Oh, man. So, that's it. Well, I killed one. That's, you know, I contributed. Here come the Voidsmen. A little bit late. Theodora waves her hand in a commanding gesture. Mort! Take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. The Rogue Trader turns her eyes to you. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, Not bad. I've seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them
that's much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
She looks at the box in her hand. All you can hear is lifeless static.
The incident with the rampaging servitors may be connected to what is transpiring now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be assertive and come to my conclusions.
Possibly. Quite likely.
Theodora winces and flicks the switch on her Vox a few times. Why does she keep wincing?
We will investigate at a later time. Right now, we need to isolate the affected compartments and try to assess the situation.
Now we'll ask.
What are your orders?
She breaks eye contact with you.
Mort has gone on ahead to clear the path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid, and be quick about it.
Okay, well, we will follow the Arch-Militant. So, he went off that way, I believe. Right? I think so. We'll head up here. It looks like there's some DACA being exchanged. Who are they shooting at? Some heretics down there? Can we shoot them?
I always keep my options open.
Please? I can't hit him.
I refuse.
No line of sight. I would love to shoot him. Can't hit that one either.
Tells me
I call bullshit.
it's a bad idea.
Okay, I guess they're just meant to be taken out by the...
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
So we're following the Arch-Militant. The Arch-Militant is basically the master of arms aboard a rogue trader vessel, so that's going to be right here with the melta-gun. I'm surprised there is literally anything left of him at all, and that barrel. There he is. What's his name? Conrad? Yeah. Conrad Voigtveer lets out a sigh of relief upon seeing you.
Thank Providence you're alive and well. Always on time, eh, Conrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You should set your chrono by it.
Conrad pointedly looks away from the Arch-Militant to you.
Mort, pull yourself together.
The Arch-Militant looks back at you.
What did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We are all done here. I'll report right away.
Mort pulls his Vox from his belt and hurriedly reports on the situation. Okay, they're here already.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my Arch-Militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report. I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever this or the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only Vox casts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. Voigtveer pauses. That the madmen have already reached the officers' deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Yeah, I don't think it's a case of warp madness. I think Voigtveer is probably right.
We must provide immediate assistance to those still on the middle decks. Perhaps we might stop this wave from spreading. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the navigator's sanctum are secure. I have the means to do both things at once.
Her expression changes as her eyes flash ominously. Okay. Theodora looks at Voigtveer.
Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A Psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
Yeah, that's true.
I tried to locate him.
But the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18. I bet he's behind it all.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Finish all. Locate Class and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side, Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study, and it appears that we might encounter heretics along the way. Cyrene von Valancius.
Theodora glances at you thoughtfully.
If I may, Lord Captain.
Voigtveer's voice is soft and cautious.
Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers...
Okay, I guess I'm going with Voigtbeer again.
Then it's settled. Cyrene von Valancius, find Edelthrad and bring him here, in whatever state you find him. This elevator, she points at the massive doors, leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand? I hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Theodora waves a hand impatiently.
Then move out. Mort, come.
Alright, so we need to find Edelthrad, who, he doesn't like us, and he's a fellow Psyker. That explains his physical deformities. Psykers often end up with physical deformities. It's remarkable that I don't have any physical deformities. At least, you know, noticeable ones. Voigtbeer gives you a nod. Are you ready to head to 18? It's a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear. No, we're not gonna do that.
I shall make do. Lead the way.
We're gonna be nice. Especially Voigtbeer's been... He's been decent.
Of course you will. He rummages in his pocket for something. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
Lady Theodora would never have someone... Okay. Not sure what that means.
With a pop and sharp crackle, something hits you in the abdomen, and you are consumed by unbearable gut-wrenching pain.
Oh, well, okay. I see. Maybe I spoke too soon. Seems like Voigtbeer probably just shot us. Alright.
I promised you a special destiny, Cyrene von Valancius.
Something, 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 something. It could give us a little bit more time to, read these things. Hey! That's rude. You didn't have to kick me.
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. She has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warren Chamber, and for that, I need her breathing. Oh, you are back with us, I see. Delightful.
Voigtbeer, you two-faced scum! You are the one behind this mayhem.
How perceptive of you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself.
Yeah, so they need that for, probably for the warrant of trade. That's blood keyed. It's not just a document. It is like a high-tech piece of equipment. It looks like a scroll, but it's a lot more than that.
We are in the anteroom of the Warren Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, beyond those gates, lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred warrant of trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel. An ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is it, inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel? Oh, we could join him and take the warrant and Theodora together. That's kind of cool. Alright. We're not going to beg him, that's for sure. Use your psychic powers against Voigtbeer. Yeah! You close your eyes and try to focus, and then you feel the touch of something sharp. Voigtbeer has somehow sensed a shift in the warp and delivered a preemptive strike. Whoops. The blade flashes in the dim light, and drops of blood appear on your palm. For a brief moment you feel nauseous, your head is spinning, and then quiet whispers begin to flood your mind. More and more sourceless voices echo each other, drowning out your thoughts, replacing them with a singular urge. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Go to the gate. Fight the voice in your head. Get out! I am not your puppet! I don't want things whispering to me. It's never good. The voices in your head giggle and mock your desperate outcry. You feel this intruding influence forcing you onto your feet and making you step towards the gate looming in the center of the chamber. Uh-oh. Okay, so he has a Psyker of his own. Or he is a Psyker. So I'm being puppeted against my will. There's the Sentinel. In the gateway arch, you see a cogitator with a human likeness built into the front panel. It is literally a human. As you approach, the torso twitches slightly. This is a servitor, an obedient automaton created from a lobotomized human being. The Sentinel turns its head towards you, one of its eye sockets lighting up with two ember-like irises. Tech use 45, examine the device. I am not good at tech use. Actually, no, I have a... difficulty modifier is plus 45. So hold on, I have a tech use of 40. Oh, you can actually switch characters to do the different actions. That's really cool. I mean, we don't have multiple characters, so that's too bad. Let's examine the device. See if this works. Tech use succeeded. Nice. You carefully inspect the device of the gate cogitator. What immediately catches your eye is the strange alloy that was used as a material for the machine's components, some of which are unfamiliar to you. You suspect this might be some kind of archaeotech relic. What is archaeotech, you may ask? An incredibly rare and powerful piece of technology from humanity's ancient past. We'll go more into humanity's ancient past later, I'm sure. Needless to say, technology was better then than it is now. That might seem contradictory because technology is supposed to advance and develop, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closer to you. Its lower jaw opens with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic fangs that glint in the dim light. The vid screen to the right of you lights up, showing strings of mysterious symbols on a green background. Why is everything so grim? Can't we just have a password? A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifice. The voices that filled your head after Voitvir wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, their source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. Examine the Sentinel. The servitor looks noticeably different from the ones you are used to. Its skin covering is stitched together with copper thread, and it has metal hinges in place of the standard joints. It seems that the creators of the Sentinel did everything to ensure that the service life of this unit would be much longer than that of ordinary automatons. Look back.
Did you forget something? I suggest you hurry.
I'm delaying. Look for anything that could be used as a weapon. Look around in the hopes of finding at least something that could work as a weapon. Your search is in vain. The chamber anteroom is completely empty and in perfect working condition. Nary a broken panel or protruding piece of rebar in sight. Well, fuck, I guess I have to put my hand into the Sentinel's maw. The Sentinel's jaws clamp around your hand, puncturing your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the servo motors start up and the pumps stir into motion. The vid screen of the cogitator flickers. So this is the procedure to open a door. This isn't some weird chaos shit. This is just the normal fucking way to open this door. Now, it's a special door, so not every door needs to be opened by getting your hand chomped on by a lobotomized, robotified dead guy. But welcome to Warhammer 40k. Several long minutes pass. The Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you are beginning to feel sick. Perhaps if there were a way to... If you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your ears and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
You do not understand where the quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the Sentinel? The cogitator? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you clearly hear every word. Yes, I do require assistance. Pain shoots through your head and subsides just as quickly.
It would seem the entity coiled in your consciousness does not have the ability to do you any real harm.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Perfect. What do we got? Oh, tarantula sentry turrets. Get fucked.
There is still another way.
Well, now I'm in, and he's not. I figured something like that might happen. Well, here's the warrant chamber. I should probably pick up the warrant of trade, grab it before he does. Yeah, so that's the warrant of trade. That's bigger than I thought it would be. Let it be known that by my will and to be the paragon of humanity unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into the darkness. Oh my god, come on. To triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly onto the reins of fate, to walk steadily. Okay, that's pretty annoying.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
So it seems like the mechanical parts of the ship are aiding me. I need a weapon. I am utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
The servo skull goes silent, its relays clicking. Second after second passes, and you realize that the servo skull will not answer you. I need to contact someone, preferably Theodora.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Alright. In place of the mechanical screeching, the servo skull's vox projects the voice of Theodora von Valancius, distorted and ridden with static, yet still recognizable beyond a doubt. Vox Master, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection.
What madness is happening here? Who are you? Who addresses me?
Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warrant Sentinel standing by.
So you're the Warrant Sentinel, or part of the Warrant Sentinel. What the fuck does obnubilation mean? Not, like, I'm an author. I write for more than the Black Library. I'm writing my own novel, by the way. Like, my vocabulary is quite good. So whenever I encounter a word that I don't know, I'm like, what is this? Obnubilation. Hold on. I need to look this up. This is of great importance. Obnubilation meaning. To act or operation of obnubilating or making dark or obscure. Okay. Yeah, okay, noob, like, as in, like, nebulous, which often, yeah, aligns with, obscuring, clouding. That's cool. Temporary obnubilation. Okay, so our mind is clouded. Are you the warrant? No, we know it's the Warrant Sentinel. Lead me away from here.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
Okay. As the game's story unfolds, you will see notifications at the top of your screen indicating that the status of your current objective has been updated. Okay, yeah, this is journal stuff, journal entries. Okay. Rumors and contracts can also contain important information. You will learn more about them later. Alright. So, let it be known that by my will and by the true words of this document, I appoint this person to be the bearer of the warrant of trade. For fuck's sake. Okay,
Is there money to be made?
It's, they go way too fast here. So, seal the warrant chamber. Yeah, we gotta do that. Do I gotta stick my hand into the jaws again? No, this time I can just press the button. Isn't that handy? Hello, Abelard.
Mistress? What? Whatever are you doing in the warrant chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me. What is the meaning of this?
Conrad Voigtbeer is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer's deck, he stunned me somehow and brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodora for something, and trying to reach the warrant was somehow part of that plan. I think he's doing revenge because
Oh, holy God, Emperor. I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Mistress, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Voigtbeer openly admitted that he is the mastermind behind the mutiny.
Saints' blood! And it is small wonder that the heretics are so well organized. I thought his order to seal the passages between decks was his attempt to stop the attackers from spreading to other levels. But now I see the real reason. It was to stop the enforcers from intervening. At least you are alive, and now safe, Mistress. Alas, I doubt we can afford to look for a compartment to sit out this disaster.
Oh, I have no intention of sitting out this disaster.
You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense.
Alright,
Here.
cool. So, I've now got some items here. After fighting, your character can lose some of their wounds. Your character has suffered an injury. So, injuries are basically like long-standing effects that need to be healed. And, yeah, if you receive more than 50% of your maximum wounds within one round. Okay. Injuries can reduce your resolve. When a character initially suffers an injury, it is considered a fresh injury during the first 3 rounds. Once the 3 rounds have passed, the fresh injury becomes an old injury. A fresh injury can be healed with a medikit without passing any skill test. Old injuries can be healed with a medikit, but they require the character administering the treatment to pass a Medicaid skill test. Okay, that's cool. Note that if a character loses all of their wounds, they fall unconscious. Once the combat is over, the wounds of all party members are replenished automatically, but any injuries they may have sustained remain. Those can be healed with a medikit. Medikits can only be used by characters who have the field medic feature. Base skill Medicaid, or have taken the Medicaid skill advancement at least once. Whenever a character uses a medikit in battle, a Medicaid test determines the number of wounds that will be restored as a result. Okay. Abelard can heal your character's injuries. So, we get him now as...
Look no further.
He's part of the party. So, let's check our inventory here. He's got the medikit, so we can equip, right? And this is me. So these are my items. He's got mesh chest plate, armored body glove. We got to this is the group inventory. Cool stuff. So I can put that on. It doesn't show, so I guess our attire is going to look the same regardless of what we do. So we've got ourselves a sword now and a pistol. Very cool stuff. And I think I just... we have a medikit there, so we need to put that to myself. I don't need to
I
do
won't
that way.
compromise my principles.
I can't use it. Okay. We gotta have Abelard do it. So, you can do that with this. No, that's brace for impact. Yeah, I've already equipped new weapons. Yeah, okay. How to do it? Is that here? Here we go. So I can drop this on here. 7 MP, that's going to heal me, or it's going to remove my injury, probably. I have an old injury. What's it doing? Okay, it can cause
Let me
traumas.
help. That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead.
Alright.
The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. All communication with the bridge and the engineering bay was lost. So, apart from scattered voxcasts, we have no information to go on. But that is not the worst of it. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the Navigator's Sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive.
Alright. What exactly has gone wrong with the translation?
I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, Navigator. However, I've spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield was
That's
fallen.
not good.
Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak.
That's also not good.
If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the war. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live, that's hard. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet.
Yeah, so getting lost in the warp is real bad. Because you're not only getting carried through currents of space that are not concurrent to the actual real space that you're traveling through, or that you're not traveling through, which means you might end up somewhere totally different from where you intended. But because the warp transcends time as well, you might not end up in the same time. So a ship that gets lost in the warp, maybe for the crew of the ship, it might be like you're 3 months lost in the warp, only to emerge 1,000 years later. In very rare cases, ships can even emerge from the warp prior to entering the warp. This can create some interesting things. What can we expect to find in the Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the immaterial. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death.
Yep. When he says Navigator opening the third eye, he means that very literally. Okay. I heard one of Theodora's Voxcasts.
Lady Theodora's.
Right.
Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
The Navigator's Sanctum. Very well. Will you lead the way?
Absolutely. Let us proceed.
A wave of static suddenly erupts from the servo skull, and you can make out one of Theodora's words through the noise. To arms, loyal sons and daughters of the God Emperor! Fight the heresy and corruption that threatens to consume our home, and with all your might, destroy those who have dared...
The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved.
Alright. Oh look, more heretics.
Close ranks! I will take you down!
Ah, the tactical phase. So, this is indeed... Can move up to their maximum movement points, but cannot position themselves adjacent to an enemy. Nice. So we can drop characters into various positions. So that's cool. We can put Abelard right there. And I think I can put myself... I want to be kind of on the flank here, because I'm not particularly good at fighting. I still have an old injury, so apparently that wasn't healed properly. That sucks. Well, let's start the battle. Ah, they're going first. Isn't that lovely? Ouch. Okay. Friendly fire is a thing. Good to know. Abelard's ability. He's a warrior, so he can do combat. Yeah, we'll look at this as we actually look at it. He's using melee attacks, required to be adjacent to an enemy. Melee attacks can be used to make area attacks. Okay. Let's see here. You have cleave, so this must be the area of it, or the area attack. So if you were to use that, you would be able to hit. Ah, so you could do that, but can't hit too many enemies right now unless we go right here. Because then, okay, attacks of opportunity or a thing. Ah, that's a Space Marine. Okay, confirmed. Space Marines in game. We can do here. Kill these two.
I took care of this one.
Okay, that one dodged. So that gives us an action point back, I think. It's going to allow us to... Can't kill him even more. We could charge. We could charge over here. Get rid of that guy. With an attack opportunity, that's fine. And that guy parried. That's very unfortunate. Race for impact.
I will do.
That's going to give him a bit of deflection. Okay, he just used it. Okay, it just auto-uses. Alright. Cool stuff. That's his turn. Yeah, I already checked this. I'll be learning all of that as we go. So, I'm first things first gonna drop... Ah, fuck, I need to actually, Do I not have my weapons equipped? I did it. I have the wrong, set. Oopsies. Can't do that in combat. Okay, can we switch to this set? There we go. Alright, that doesn't take a turn. So, we can do cleave, or we can just do a standard strike. I think I'm just gonna standard strike this guy, 70% chance. I missed! Isn't that great? Well... Oh, God. I'm gonna forewarning myself. I should have forewarning myself beforehand, but, it is what it is. I'm learning the game. Alright, he parried. Good on him. He's got a chain sword. 1 damage. Not too bad. Nice friendly fire there, dude. Ah, you seem like a reasonable, nice person, screaming like you are. They all do. They seem like really upstanding gentlemen. Well, a cleave's gonna be pretty good here again, so let's see if we can't kill both of them. Nice! They are dead. Then we can charge here.
It will be done.
It's gonna provoke an attack of opportunity. That's fine, because then he can just use that. Ah, it didn't kill him, though. That's a shame. So that's his turn. Meanwhile, I am going to be smart and use forewarning on myself. And then I'm going to hit this one with my sword, and he's going to parry it, because I am absolutely terrible at close combat.
I'll make it happen.
But we'll give him voice of command. So he's going to be able to act a little bit better. What are you doing? You're running away, and you died. That one missed. Okay. Well, heal him. Thank you. That one's dead. Can we move? Can we shoot? He does not have a gun. We can charge. Can't quite reach him. Target is too far. Whatever. We'll charge there anyways, just so that we're threatening him. Someone else get there next turn. Can't use that this turn. Okay. Forewarning myself again. Maybe I'll actually hit this time.
I'll make it happen.
There we go. Look at that. I contributed. Okay, you can advance the level of your characters and companions. So, we have leveled up. So, 1 rank available. Choose archetype details. Okay. Well, what can we do here? Choose skill? Are we stuck here? Can we switch this? I think we're basically stuck here, because these are the other archetypes. It's officer. I am, 2 archetypes. Yeah, we are an archetype. Available skills. Ah, that's here. Okay. So we get to choose one of these, and we'll get a +10 bonus to it. I mean, getting more persuasion would be cool. We already have a 40, which is pretty good. So we could up this even more to bring that to a, yeah, that would then put it to 50, right? Yeah. Indeed. Or we can take some other skills. Commerce might be nice. I mean, we're going to have to do commerce. But no, we'll take persuasion first. I want to be able to talk well. So we have 1 skill point. Okay, is that what we do? Collapsed? Yeah, alright. So that's persuasion right there. And then here we get to... Ah, I see. It's like a rotating thing, I guess? Every level? 1 rank available. I suppose. Yeah, so... Switch out of archetypes. Closing the interaction will reset the choices you've made. No. Okay, so I just need to complete it then. Alright, so I have persuasion here. So we now have a 50 in persuasion, which is pretty good. So that's all we have here. Abelard, sorry. Gonna get that confused with Edelard. Or Edel something? I don't know. What are his skills? He's got good weapon skill, he's got good strength, he's got good toughness. Makes sense. So we'll look here, he'll get a skill bonus. So, yeah, Medicae may be useful, because he did have that. Although, I don't know if he's going to be our Medicae guy. More athletics may be nice. Let's actually give him more athletics. Complete that there. We'll give him 50 athletics. So, that should be everything that we do here. Lots of different things to check out, but we're not going to front load all of that. And we're going to be ending today's episode right here after the events that have just transpired. So, we have been betrayed by Conrad Voigtveer, and we need to get to the rogue trader, the Lady Theodora, in the Navigator. Well, strictly speaking, we need to get to the Navigator Sanctum and make sure that the ship doesn't get lost in the warp, or that the Navigator isn't dead, or something worse. So we're going to head up there in the next episode. So if you guys have enjoyed this, do please drop this one a like, and feel free to leave whatever comments you guys want. I'll be very happy to read them, of course, and all of these things are going to be very, very, very useful for an opening episode on a series. So that's it's the most important episode when it comes to appeasing the dreaded YouTube algorithm. Just pretend the YouTube algorithm is either the Emperor or the Chaos Gods, depending on your affiliations. And give it the sacrifices that it requires. Alright, guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Heritor out.